so glad you could join me here today. Today we're gonna do a nice little interesting a yard scene, but let's get straight into the painting. Let me run the colors across the screen that you'll need to paint along with me. While you're doing that, let me tell you what I got done up here. Let me make sure it's on this mode. So I have a 16 by 20 inch canvas, uh, pre-stretched double prime canvas, and I applied a thin layer of liquid white on top. So it's slick, wet, ready to go. As you can see, hold on. I need to spread that out a bit more. If we need more, I'll put more as time goes. Oh, but that area is dry. Okay, well, that's my bad. But we'll just fill it in there. You just do crisscross, sort of just fill it in, and you can scrub, you can do anything. I was customizing my brushes today. I hope you guys like the new look. I'm rocking a black uh, hand or black handle, I should say. Okay, so let's get started with today's painting. So they probably ran the colors across the screen already, but I added a new color, sap green. I thought sap green is such a nice color, and why don't we use it? So I'm going to go into a little touch of the phthalo blue. Just a little touch, tapping both sides, and just bring your brush to canvas and just do crisscross, just like so. Very, very simple, yet very effective. Now, I think I'm gonna have like a lavendery sky. So I had a little bit of phthalo blue on the brush. That's why you get that lavender mixed with alizarin crimson. But I'm just applying a little layer right there, just to give it that nice little maybe sunset look. Who knows? Who knows? So I'm just doing crisscross strokes in order to achieve this. And I go back to my phthalo blue. Let's darken up those corners. Just like so. Just tap in more paint and hit that same spot. And then bring that paint down. And since it has liquid white, then it'll allow your paints to blend out a bit better than usual. Than if you were working with the dry canvas and all that. Okay, so just crisscross applesauce. No, I'm kidding. Oh my god, I almost coughed on camera. That would have blown out the ears, the speakers. So I'm gonna go back into alizarin crimson. I think we need a bit more crimson. So you adjust it to your liking. I lost it today. No, I'm kidding. I just want to um, sort of have like a reddish tone going up, something crazy going on. Oh, before I forget, I'm going to give a shout out to a person in the comments asking for a shout out, and I agreed. It's not something so usual. I see someone asking for a shout out, but I'll put the comment right up on the screen. Um, but thank you for watching my videos. I really appreciate you uh, tuning in and watching the videos. Now, I blend the sky by just doing crisscross strokes, really. Just kind of like figures of 8, and just do the same over here, and you're done. Now, let me grab a 1-inch brush, and I'm gonna go into titanium white paint. Load up your brush full with uh, this color, You could add a little bit of bright red, it doesn't really matter. And I want a nice little big old cloud. I don't know why I said little. So just putting in that little, or I keep saying little, putting in that big old cloud that lives up in the sky. But you can make it as big or as small as you want it. It's really and truly up to you. But you gotta keep your brush moving. You can't let those bristles stop, you know? You have to keep that movement going on. Now, with the same 2-inch brush that I use for blending, I'm gonna come up here and with the corner of the brush, just wisp it. Go in circular motion, and this will blend out the base. Just like so. Very gentle. And then lift up, and go across. And just like that, you have yourself a nice little or big old cloud, depending on how big you painted it. But don't feel like you're required to copy exactly what I do. I just do it the way I feel like it. So I'm gonna go into a little bit of ivory black, some ivory black and some sap green, new color, but I want it to be green. I want you to be able to notice that green. So I'm mixing in black, green, and a little bit of white just so you could tell more the green, and it looks black, but at certain lighting you'll see it green. And all I'm gonna do is just put in a couple distant trees. Maybe this person's house doesn't have a fence. Maybe the only thing separating it are some distant trees, and that's okay. Maybe just like so. Just like so. Pull that paint down completely. So just by tapping, if one side of the brush runs out of paint, flip it to the other side. You have more paint there. Okay, now let's go ahead and I'm going to pull out some cadmium yellow right on the 2-inch, and pull out a little bit of sap green with it. So cadmium yellow, sap green, just tap. Now let's come right up here, and I want this like sort of muddy yellow color, something in between. And just like so, I just want to tap out a couple land living out there. So just tap the bristles, tap tap tap, and just about so. Now let's go ahead and let's put in another one. So for that, I'm gonna pull out more cadmium yellow, little sap green, and a little bit of ivory black just to darken it up. Oh wait, I have to put base color in order for you to tell the difference. So I'm going to put ivory black just in front of it. That way you can tell the difference when I put the highlight on, rather than everything blending together. Just like so. And I think there's gonna be a pond that lives right around here. Just like so. You make up these decisions. But hey, you could use a roller to do this. You don't have to tap or use a 1-inch. As long as you have that paint on, really. That's all that matters, is having that paint on. And a little bit here, a little bit in here, just like so. Now, Let me put in that blue. So let me grab the 2-inch brush, and I'm gonna take it through a little bit of phthalo blue and just going back and forth, just to give me a light color. I don't want too much. I want it pretty light, pretty nice, pretty color. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's highlight this. So cadmium yellow, sap green. Load up your brush full of paint. Full of paint. Let's come up here and just tap. That's all you're doing. You're just tapping more paint on top of the other. Tap, 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 and move on. Don't. Once you're done with all the grass layer, all the highlights and all that, then you can go back and retouch up. But before that, I would suggest keep going. Don't stop, because once you stop, then it um doesn't look quite the same. Doesn't have quite the same impression. Just tap, just like that. Let me load up more paint and just tap, 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 tap. This painting style requires tons of paint, so you cannot be shy of using paint. You have to be willing to use up quite the pile of paint. So just load it and attack. And I'm following the angle I want this to go in. I want it to go this way. So just like so. Maybe you want it the other way. Maybe you want this one facing this way and this one facing this way. It's all up to you, I'm telling you. Painting, anyone could change any little thing and it's a whole new different painting. Don't feel like you have to follow what I'm doing. I'm not here to teach you guys how to copy. I'm here to teach you guys the techniques so you guys could learn them and move on. It's like in school. They teach you your ABCs to so you could write sentences, later on write paragraphs, essays, stories, books, so on. But you're not copying them, you're making your own. So little by little. Okay, let me keep loading my brush, and I just want a few little extra highlights here and there. But remember, you make up these decisions. I think that's how you say it. Now, let me grab a palette knife. I'm gonna grab a number 10 palette knife and straight into ivory black, and I'm gonna pick up some Van Dyke brown. Mix the two together. Shoot, what the heck? Maybe even a little bit of alizarin crimson, just to give it that nice color. Let's come up here. Let's put in some dirt. So, just along the grass, where the grass ends, the little pond starts. So just very lightly. Very, very lightly. You don't need much. You just need that basic color. Now, I'm going to put that pile to the side. I have a feeling we're going to need it later. So let me go into some dark sienna. A little bit of that dark color that we used. Just a little bit. And some whites. Let's come up here to the canvas. Just gently. Just lightly put on a few dirt highlights. Okay? And I'm going to put this to the side too. You never know. Let me wipe my knife off. just like so. And let's come up here, up to the pond. Let me load up my palette knife with titanium white. As you can see, that little roll of paint on the edge of your knife, and just tap a few little water lines. You might need to reload your brush. Feel free to go back, pause the video, and reload your, not your brush, your palette knife. And I'm just tapping it to get that texture out. So when the painting dries, there's much texture on the painting. I think that's a pretty interesting thing you can do when it comes to painting. Now, you know what? I think we're gonna put in some steps. So let's go ahead. Let's start here. So just block in that step you want, and then just lightly, lightly. Let me load up more paint on my palette knife, just like so, and just pull. We'll figure out the rest later. Right now, you just want the basic shape of some steps. Okay? So just touch, pull, and move on. So maybe like so. You can scratch off the paint if you choose to. That won't really damage the painting. Now, let me load up some more. Okay. Ooh, that's a tall step. But you make these decisions. Painting tests your bravery, sees what you're willing to do. So just pull that paint like so. And I'm gonna do one more step. I think it's the final step to being able to get into the house you're trying to get into, or cabin, or whatever it is. We don't really care. We're just painters at the end of the day. We're just painters. Now, that dark sienna and white, and let's come up here. Just caress it very lightly. Few here and there. Just like so. So we'll, at the end, it might not look as much right now. Hold on, let me move. It might not look as much, but towards the end, we're gonna fix it, add highlights and all that, to where you notice it's a step and it looks like a step, rather than you trying to guess what it is. So don't worry about that just yet. So I'm gonna add some more white to the dark sienna white, and just on the top, just lightly, and you're just connecting them basically right now. Very gentle, no pressure whatsoever. See, if you're gonna teach someone how to paint, you have to demonstrate to them you yourself can do it with no pressure. And then I'm gonna grab some dark sienna white and some Van Dyke brown to kind of cool it down a bit, and just very lightly, gentle, whew, just like so. And then clean my knife off. Now I'm going to grab some titanium white and just sort of scratch on like outlines, so you know kind of where the stepping stones are, and you won't confuse them, at least for me. Just a little bit. I'm not trying to work in too much. So now I just kind of scrub it out so the lines aren't too thick. Because if the lines are too thick, it won't look natural. We can put it that way. Okay, now let's go ahead. Let's put in a big old tree. So I think I'm gonna need more Van Dyke Brown and Ivory Black. So I'm gonna mix up a bigger pile of that paint color. Just mix it up on the palette. Go ahead, just like so. Let's come up here. Let me grab a fan brush, number 3, the same one we used for the evergreen trees, and just load up this brush. And I want a big old tree. Maybe that tree lives, maybe it goes off the canvas. Maybe you don't see it. Maybe just like so. So just fill in that tree. Shoo. Maybe it covers the step, at least the view of the step, but you can still cross that step and all that. Now, dark sienna, white, and white with a little bit of Van Dyke brown. Get that little roll of paint on the edge of your knife and just tap. Just sort of tap and pull to the side. Okay? Just like so. Gentle, gentle though. And you don't want to overdo this too much. Okay? Now I'm going to add a mixture in between. So in between our highlights and shadows. And just pull the other way. I'm going to pull it gently, just like I did to the other side. And just like so. Maybe there should be, let's see, what do I want to put? Let's put in some evergreen trees. How does that sound? Some ivory black and some sap green. Just a mixture of both. Let's come up here and let's put that tree right in there. So start with the top and work your way towards the bottom using the corner of your brush. Gotta load up more paint. Just like so. This isn't my best fan brush to paint in evergreens, but it'll have to do. I have more fan brushes, but I choose not to dirty them. Why do double work? I'm gonna have to clean them later on after the video. So just tap that paint on, and just like so, you got 2 little silhouettes at least of evergreen trees. Let's put in a tree trunk. So that highlight color we used here, we'll put as a tree trunk. So just tap, and let me clean my knife, just like so, and let's highlight it. I'm gonna go into cadmium yellow, a little bit of sap green, just like so, on the brush. And let's go on here, and you're basically following that pattern. You're just putting highlights this time, just like so. Tell me how you guys like it more, when I'm talking a lot and it's not too quiet, or when I don't talk as much but it gets a bit quiet. I don't know how you guys may like it, so I thought I would try out talking a bit more without any breaks. Just like so. Okay, now let's go ahead, let's fix up the foots of that little tree, and just like that, you have 2 basic old evergreen trees. Now we have about 4 more minutes. So let's go ahead. Let's put over here um, couple steps, and that's it for today. So just load up Van Dyke Brown and Ivory Black. Load up. Let's come up here. Let's decide. Maybe here's our first step, and then pull that paint. You have to kind of think about the shape just a bit, and then do the same over here. Pull that. Okay, and just like so. Just basically, it's a basic silhouette. Don't think too much about it. We fix it afterwards. So just like so. And just try to keep sharp edges since it is steps. And I think that's it for that. How much time are we at? 26 minutes. Okay. Highlight, highlight, and finally, last one, highlight. Now, let's find in between. Well, first we're gonna put our shadows. Shadow, shadow, and shadow. Okay. And highlight is gonna, or I'm gonna actually put more dark sienna and just sort of boom, boom, and boom. Okay. Now just fix it up a bit. Some titanium white. And just sort of touch and move on. Touch, 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 touch. Boom, boom. Okay. And then make those lines thinner by scrubbing it in. Just like Bob Ross does it in his water lines. Just think about it in that manner. And I think that's it for today's painting. It was a nice, interesting painting. I think anyone should be able to attempt. I'd like to wish each and every one of you the best of luck, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care, my friend. Goodbye.